Yes, man.
Alive. Oi.
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 Setting up for this podcast right now. Can I? What, Jack?
Do something, Dima. Come fix this thing that broke. You need a, what that was.
This is my shit bucket.
Like a chair in a restaurant.
BDC?
Where do I share this? Share.
Don't share it yet.
Why?
Chair.
Just go ahead and go to the chat and see if you can. Oh.
Telegram's been going.
Yeah, but it's on
too.
my phone.
Dude, I can't even use it anymore.
Really?
It keeps saying it needs updated. I think I'm gonna have to uninstall it.
Yeah, I would do
uninstall it or
that.
something.
I would 100% do that.
No.
Hey, why don't you post it in our chat?
What? Sutler chat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got you. I always forget about
Oh,
that.
there it is.
Dmitry Chezikov, hey.
There it is.
We throw these on the couch.
Why doesn't it show?
This as well.
Oh. We need to plug these mics in.
Wait. We just start recording. The mics aren't even plugged in. And we're starting to jump.
I actually might start a computer that will record from that.
Okay.
Is this good?
We're gonna do the tap or there's a sequence in there. You want glasses for us or?
Oh, for the whiskey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what I plugged in here. It's on the bottom shelf.
That's the boot shot. To go directly for a better stream.
You got some.
All right, we're good.
In there. I think it's gonna be different in here now because it's not as bright.
Yeah, that's okay.
We'll have to test it.
That's okay. I would turn.
This one. This one. Yeah, I think that's good.
That's good.
That's what we figured out last time. You want to do the proper 12?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Stop. Hello.
Hello.
With bandwidth. Is it that bad? What's going on?
I'm just trying to.
Is this?
Yeah, that's why. That got bumped down.
All right. Let's check it out. Testing. 3, 2, 1. Hello.
Test.
Welcome to every freaking time. All right. Maybe we'll restart the stream and try. I love that guy.
The GIF, bro.
Hold on here.
Test.
Is it? Are you connected? You are connected. All right, that should work, man. Is it not working?
Oh, let me see on my end.
Try it. We should be connected to the LAN cable now. This is why this is a test.
Line. Oh yeah, dude, it's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, he's legit.
Alrighty. Why does it say there's only? It doesn't show the true people in here. That's weird.
It shows fake people there?
No, it doesn't show the correct numbers.
What does it show?
0.
Oh.
But there's obviously like 3 separate people in here.
Test.
Mike's struggle busing over here. Let's make sure
That should probably be.
Well, let's make sure that the MIDI is. Click MIDI. MIDI. Did it work? Built-in mic. See the master? You see the master? That one. Go all the way up.
Master.
It doesn't let you?
Well, that's 2. This is right.
Okay.
I think this is wrong. I think this.
This is why this is a test. Test run.
This should be input.
The Leo. What's going on, Pence? We're setting this stuff up, man. Trying to get this rolling. Ooh, I got like a great hair, man. Wow.
It's the crypto winter.
Not fit for
Television.
television whatsoever. Good.
There we go.
Works.
Test.
Whoa.
Way too
Test.
Yeah, but we're also not gonna be that close.
Turn into
Except
that
Q.
voice.
Q
Hello?
likes to have the mic.
Yeah, I like to make love to my replay. Oh god, turn that down.
Jesus.
There we go.
Works. Test.
Oh my God.
Test.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah, with
yeah.
redlining, it's probably not a good thing.
Thanks, Steve.
I learned that from DJing days.
Just did. Your guys need to be turned up a little bit more, right? Or are we sharing?
Yeah. All right, you want to sit in your seat?
This should be my seat right here.
Oh, so we're sharing, or am I on this one?
I should be sitting here because I gotta do the YouTube.
Okay, then Dean, you sit here.
Mhm.
So then why don't me and you will have to share then. Dean, you're gonna
Okay.
be the ugly duckling.
It's all right.
Are we gonna classes?
Yeah.
Oh shit. And
Final test. Then we do the whiskey. You gotta make sure.
then we do this. God, we were going through a bunch of troubleshooting. God, I'm all over the place. Damn it, Mike.
Welcome to IOST.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Test.
Test.
Wait,
Test,
so
test,
I get my
test,
personal
test,
mic?
test.
Are you serious? Bro, that's gonna be something.
Chances this works? 0.
Right. Welcome to IOST.
Oh, there it is. Test.
All right.
Test.
Just giving the feedback. Roger Alpha Tango. I think we should be ready to go here. Give us 5 more minutes and we should be ready to go.
Just 30 more minutes?
You can just lean on the bar going, with whiskey. Dean needs his,
Oh, that's what you had.
you get to choose your whiskey glass. There's a lot to know about a man by the whiskey glass.
Wait, we
Oh,
should-
yeah.
We should make a.
What is the biggest glass?
We should let
so you got your choice
There you
between This glass or this glass?
Uh-oh, no, let the guys decide. Which one? Yeah.
Two voters.
Type 1 for left.
The short one or the taller one?
No.
No
They're
response.
not
Neither
getting
one.
for it. Neither-
We'll just drink it from the bottom. This one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, he said taller.
Taller.
So taller.
Team already chose the other one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's mine. That's mine.
Yeah. I'm gonna go take a couple rocks.
All right, this is going to go live on Twitter as well. IOST Podcast live on YouTube.
Shout out McGregor. Dude, after that one poker night we had here, my whiskey's hurting.
Oh, man, that's tough.
Glad we got 2 bottles, just in case we run out of one.
I gotta save that for Red.
All right, let's see how this goes.
Wings and whiskey at Reds.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. So,
Let's see here, yeah. There you go. All right, we are very close. Looks like most of the IC community is sleeping right now. That's all right. The important people are up. Normally, we're gonna do like midday with this.
hefty dose of confidence.
You might want to maybe mute your computer.
Oh yeah, I will mute the computer.
You the guy who always
What
has
about the camera? That does not look ready.
It's just on me. It's on who counts. Cheers.
Who's the camera guy?
Oh wait. I'll just pour.
Oh,
Remember
Cheers.
my first one.
Oh,
My
wow.
God.
Literally, Mike.
hey, you need a straw for that beer?
What's up, Hodel? How's it going?
Alright, I'm gonna just start recording this so I don't forget.
You're gonna forget.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Okay. Here we go. All right, someone needs to hold down a 29-minute counter.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah, I'll be the countdown guy.
Whose is this?
That's fine.
Can you grab me one of those?
Can I grab you what?
A Spindrift.
What?
Spindrift. This is sponsored by Spindrift, so we should probably be drinking
Alright.
there
We should be good here. What's that? Spindrift?
from the fridge. Isn't that yours?
That's fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's
Can you grab
that?
me one?
This thing.
A water.
Oh. I didn't know what they were called. These poor souls have been waiting like 15 minutes for us to start this.
It's gonna be good.
It is gonna be good. All right.
Thank you,
Oh, I
sir.
gotta open that box for sure.
All right. Do you want to go on a timer now?
Yeah.
Somehow I don't trust
Is
it.
it a timer or just stopwatch?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Don't make it like go off.
Yeah.
Just keep track of it.
Oh, I started.
We are good to go.
Should we probably put this up here if we're drinking it?
Maybe Connor will retweet it.
Psych.
Yeah.
Connor Alexander? Connor might retweet.
All right. Let's start it here in 2 minutes. In like 30 seconds, we'll start. Everything should be good. Get me set up.
Yep. Prepare to have a functioning mic.
Yep, there it is.
You started a different document.
Ooh. Oh, damn, it doesn't have the dock.
That's it. No, look.
Oh wait, no. Podcast weekly updates app review.
Is it still under Sutler right here?
Should be under, yeah. It is under Sutler. All righty. For those of you that are in the live chat room on YouTube, we're going to go live here with our podcast. We're going to have to stop it 30 minutes through just to reset the camera. But thanks for being here.
That is, I still can't get over that.
What?
So the reason that the cameras have that set up is because something with taxes.
Taxes?
Yeah, I looked it up because I was like, there's no way that you can't have the camera running for
Maybe
more
you
than
shouldn't-
30
maybe-
minutes. The video player.
Maybe it means taxed on the camera.
Well, it has to do with imports, right?
Didn't you just like?
All right.
Yeah, it has to do with imports. So if you, I guess it's the difference between like a video recorder and like a photo camera.
Mhm.
And the video recorders have a larger import tax price around the world, so that's why they make them shut off. That's why we do it for the listeners.
Interesting. All right, here we go.
You're like, I don't do
I'm
that.
just trying. I'm really like trying to focus here.
Interesting. Moving on.
I'm trying to really focus here. All right. We're going to go live here in 10 seconds. Countdown. Hopefully the lighting was good. I didn't even check the lighting.
Hey,
Oh,
it's too late now.
all right.
It's bad. We'll blame it on you.
Yep, there it is. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're here live on YouTube with another The IOST podcast. I'm sitting here with two of my closest friends, Dmitry Chesnikov, Mike Finch. I'm Q, aka That Dap Guy. Do you guys want to show your Twitter handles really quick?
That Finch guy copied me.
Did I copy you?
Yeah. a little bit.
Dimitri, do you got what's your Twitter handle?
At D Chesnikov.
Is it underscore?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we're here with another episode this week. Thank you for following all the podcasts that we've been doing, all the content that we've been putting out. We sincerely appreciate it. I am sitting too close to the mic, apparently, so I'm going to back up. There we go. Okay, all right. We are live on YouTube, as we said. So for those of you that are listening live, thank you. This will be on our YouTube as well as the recorded version going live on Thursday. We have a full episode here today. We're discussing iOST's post-mainnet growth relative to some other chains. Quarter one contribution applications going in. We have OASIS secret weapon being released. We have the Binance relationship that is growing, some DApp discussion, as well as iUSD launching. So full episode. Hopefully we can get to it, all in one episode. So how do you guys feel?
I'm ready, man. We got some whiskey. We got some beer.
Yeah.
You know,
Very.
It's about 8 o'clock here. We're ready to rock.
It's a little bit later than we usually go.
It's okay. We can drink more and get away with it. Not look like degenerates.
Yeah, for those of you that were following, we were supposed to have BBC on for this episode. That's going to be in 2 weeks. They had to reschedule, so we're here entertaining you guys, just us three per usual.
Yeah. It'll still be good. We're not so bad.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to cover.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing we want to touch on, we talking about payouts. So payouts, as far as the rewards that voters are getting for voting for Sutler Ventures, for the 7-day period, it's 42,000 IOST, as well as 196,000 lifetime. And we currently sit at number 14, the top USA node on the IOST BIS voting portal. For those of you that don't know anything about us, SutlerVentures.com or at Sutler Ventures on Twitter or Telegram. What do you guys think?
Yeah, check us out. I mean, we still need all the votes we can get. It's a heated kind of battle of sorts. Obviously, all the nodes are working together here, but it's still very Asian dominated. We're out here representing for North America and for the U.S. So, if you've got a position in iOST, you're looking to make a vote. We're here. We're transparent. We're keeping you guys updated. We're bringing resources to the ecosystem. We're doing a lot, so definitely consider us.
Cool. How you doing today, Dimitri?
Doing great, man.
Doing great.
Ready to get started. Talk about this growth.
Perfect. So we'll start off with a couple comments from this past week, as well as a couple comments coming from the community are trickling in on YouTube. One says, "Man, Mike, you really look like Superman."
I've gotten that before, but I used to. So before my hair started going the other way, I used to have like a little curl at the front.
Oh,
Yeah. I think back home, Colton's sister or mom.
one of our good friends. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So thank you for that comment. If you guys are commenting, don't comment on our Telegram comment via that YouTube, so I'm able to see it and we can talk about it here. We had a comment on our weekly update this week. It says, so OASIS is a system upgrade or more like a layer solution similar to Liquid apps?
From what it looks like, obviously understanding that we don't have full details on OASIS,
yes,
it would be more like a layer 2 solution versus a system upgrade.
Okay.
But that's not for sure, right? So with the information we have thus far, looking like your layer 2, right? If it's something that's going to increase throughput or, allow you to run side chains or something like this, right? That seems to make more sense with the information we have now. But
yes, definitely. And we'll be talking about that secret weapon getting revealed later in the podcast. Another comment we had, this one was via, I believe, our last, let me go to our last podcast really quickly. My channel.
Fill the empty space.
Yeah, quick, hurry.
Do you like this whiskey?
Yeah, it's actually not bad considering how what a mixed feedback there is.
There's a lot of controversy. So if you can't tell, if you're not watching the video, we're trying Conor McGregor's whiskey Proper 12, and some people love it, some people hate it. It's not bad. I mean, it's like $25 a bottle, so you're not getting like a revolutionary whiskey taste by any means, but for $25, it's a good buy.
Not a big whiskey drinker, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Don't hold it against.
It's not for everybody.
All right, so comments from last week's episode. Hoddle actually said, I love the podcast. IOST market cap has almost doubled since mainnet. Guys, you might want to check out IOST Callister's swag. Apparently, IOST Callister is actually making swag for IOST, so it has the logo and everything.
Nice.
I think I'm actually talking with him right now, so we should have gear to wear for maybe 2 podcasts from now.
Okay, yeah, and we will have some swag coming. You guys will have continued chances to win it. We're just waiting on some additional logos for some other business lines. So once we have that, we're ready to roll.
Cool. DM Logic's XRP philosophy. Oh, are you guys in Pittsburgh? He says, are you guys in Pittsburgh? I am a voter on your node. I have a YouTube channel with over 13K subs and has a good reach and interaction. Would love to do an interview with you guys.
I think I replied to that and said to message us on Telegram or Twitter. So Twitter's at Sutler Ventures. Telegram is t.me/Sutler Ventures. Hit us up there. That's going to be the best way to get a hold of us. Yeah, we'd love to meet up, see if there's some synergies. Congrats on the YouTube channel there. That's awesome.
Cool. So we'll be reaching out shortly. The last comment we had was from Vince Lee. I'm sure they can create some kind of Python automated public plugin for those nodes to automatically collect a daily reward. I know we had the discussion where we were talking about how if a node doesn't actually claim rewards, then the voters wouldn't get those rewards. So he's saying that they could actually have like a Python automated plugin there.
I wonder how much of that is still happening. Like we're already, a month in this, right? So you think that, it would already be fixed basically by these block producers, or essentially, people re-rotate their votes for those that are actually delivering, on rewards. But it's kind of sad to see that still happening.
Yeah, it should be definitely interesting to see over the coming months if that just gets handled by itself. I think it will.
Yeah,
I would think so. I mean, talking to some of the IOST team members, there are some nodes that didn't even send in their contribution reports. I think they just figure that it's not worth the time. I guess I don't know, but definitely after that, I think we'll start to see a distance between the nodes that are helping the ecosystem, that are claiming their rewards for you as the voter. But yeah, I mean, to the point of the comment, right? It still goes back to that centralization versus decentralization argument, where even this, in these past few days, we saw a notable ETH project come out and do something in a very centralized manner, which we were talking about before the podcast, which was Augur, basically saying that if you don't use your tokens within X amount of time, we're going to take them from you. So it's like, okay, well, it's a slippery slope
for sure.
A little bit. Obviously, it's not one for one equivalent, but that's the argument.
Got it. I think there's going to be a ton of shakeup when the actual contribution rewards actually get released. Yeah. Because I don't think people officially know. I think some of the community knows, but a lot of the community is still kind of figuring out what these contribution rewards will be. Right. And once they realize that the node that they vote for, there's no rewards, they're going to be like, what the hell?
When their buddy got, a few 10,000 IOST or something like that on top. Another cool thing on that is that, as I've understood it from Ben on the IOST team, there's kind of this hidden game theory a little bit for voters where, the proportionate amount of votes that you cast for a block producer to the relative total that they have, right? So if a block producer has 3 million votes and you've casted 2 million of them for them, obviously you have 66.66% of those votes. You're going to get a significant amount of those quarterly rewards. So in this example, if you vote for a node with less votes, where your proportion of those total votes are higher, and they're in that top tier,
Sure.
you're going to get a ton of contribution rewards.
Interesting.
So next quarter, once, like you said, the shakeup's kind of gone through, it'll be interesting to see like how these votes flip and flop between different nodes to try and get the most.
It's gonna be definitely a huge rotation after that, which is something that, before the actual mainnet launch is when like all the tokens were locked up and for like the nodes. We saw a little bit of a rotation as well. Once the mainnet launched,
once they were unlocked.
People start rotating their votes, which is something good to see.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll get into the body of our podcast now. So we got the discussion about IOST post mainnet growth. Now, you guys actually showed me this. I think it was Dimitri. You showed me the article that said something about this post mainnet growth and how it compares to other networks. How does that exactly give them the details?
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. So just to give you the number, right now we're sitting at 215,000 accounts for IOST. And I decided to do a little bit of digging to look up, EOS, for example, how many accounts they had post mainnet launch. So it was interesting to see that actually it took them a quarter to get to 160,000.
Took EOS a quarter.
Yeah. So you can see the difference where we were here just 1 month in, and we're already at 215,000. And then I think it was Jimmy who mentioned, right, in terms of just overall comparing the top, EOS, ETH,
top four,
that we're outpacing in terms of growth on accounts.
I wonder if Jimmy even knows that, because Jimmy always obviously posts everything about IOST and being like that we want to be like, at least to start off, this fourth blockchain. You don't think, or the fourth network, if kind of like in a scalable sense, but you don't think he would be pushing that if he knew that IOST got more accounts in this span of time than any of the other networks.
I'm sure he knows that.
You think he knows?
I don't think he's necessarily rubbing it in yet, but like,
then why isn't he pushing anything?
I mean, he is pushing it. He's just doing it in a really respectable way, instead of saying, look at EOS. So number I saw was 65,000 accounts on EOS in the first 2 months. Right, we're obviously post 200,000, which obviously this is not the sole metric for adoption or growth or anything, right? This is one of many metrics. The EOS ecosystem has a lot of push behind it, but he's not out there like we're so much better. And that's something I brought up on one of the past podcasts where it was like, okay, well, when are we going to go from like the fourth, scalable, decentralized, usable to the third, or just the first?
Gotcha.
Right? So.
I think it's good. It just gives the opportunity for people to actually find that information themselves and call it out, rather than having just like the founder be like, oh well, hey, I'm just kind of putting it out there just to show myself,
Yeah.
So
there was a little bit of news today. I believe it was today that about Ethereum, how we are producing more transactions than Ethereum. Did you see that news?
I did. Yeah, over. Was it over 50%? I don't remember what the exact numbers was.
We're climbing on Ethereum, that's for sure.
No doubt.
25 million transactions right now.
Wow, okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, you wanted to talk about Endless Dice as well, how Ray is associated with Endless.
Yeah, so for my meeting with Ray, he mentioned that he built a dApp for EOS, and it's called Endless Dice. So he said, yeah, it was great, it worked out. And then later on, I see Endless Dice being launched on IOST, and I was like, "Oh, hey, I see what you
That
mean."
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
EOS basically is like a test bed for it.
Right. Yeah. So what happened was, now if you take a look at it, actually the transactions and the volume is way higher on IOST Endless game rather than EOS Endless game. So
shout out to Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ray's doing a ton of good stuff. I think that has a lot to do with the mining ratio on IOST. Probably like Endless Dice on EOS definitely has been around a little bit longer, so that mining ratio is worse.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Yeah. That's always an interesting, kind of point of contention with a lot of these dApps I know that we talk about, where it's like, okay, well, what, everything at the start, it booms, right? There's this crazy, mining setup or mining ratio or whatever you want to call it. And then as that decreases, how much adoption do you hold?
Holds.
You know?
Right.
So we'll see.
That's a good point. Yeah, just to give you kind of numbers here. So EOS Endless game did almost 700K in transactions for past 7 days. And then IOST for past 7 days did 1.9 million.
Oh, wow.
So
almost 3x.
Yeah.
So it's got to be some mining ratio there.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely probably what it is. So we have Q1 contribution applications. I don't know if you want to pull that up to talk about it, but in the meantime, we actually had a question come through, and Good as Gold actually asked us, who is attending the meetup in Boston in May?
That will be the Black Venture team, and then also likely IOST Bean, who is another IOST block producer.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, keep the questions coming, man. We'll answer them as soon as they come in. Obviously, not in the middle of our discussion, but between topics, we'll definitely throw your guys' questions out there to see if we can, answer.
I'm loading up this contribution report here. So
awesome.
Let's see, make sure I get the right doc.
Yeah. We just sent him an empty doc. Here you go.
Give me a second here.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, obviously 25% of the rewards that a node actually receives comes from the contribution they add to the actual ecosystem and not just the votes. So we, strive our hardest, not only for the rewards, but for IOST in general. I think everyone benefits. But we, submitted this application, and basically Mike's going to go over our contribution for Q1.
Yeah. So obviously we're pumping out a lot of content for you guys. Looks like total impressions across the podcast, articles we're putting out, weekly updates that Q puts out. We've got almost 1 million impressions total. So shout out to you guys. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. We are working with 2 different dApps to bring them over. We can't necessarily say what the names are because of NDAs, but those were included on the contribution report there. Smaller dApps. One is a little more confirmed than the other, but stay tuned for more info there from us. Some really awesome integrations. That's basically what our main kind of category is, right? So as a block producer, when we fill this document out, IOST asks for us to kind of have a main category as to what our focus is, right? So that can be content, that can be building dApps, that can be integrations like wallets, exchanges, explorers, it can be events. There are 5 different categories there. 5th one is communities. So ours is integrations. That's something we talked about before, where especially utilizing our network to bring big players in the space over to IOST. Some examples are various staking companies. There's another company we're working with now in order to bring them in some really interesting kind of widgets or integrations over to IOST.
I love how you're hinting at all these.
I mean, I can't say it, right? But there's another company that has, they actually come from one of the major investment banks in traditional finance. So it's no joke there. Some lending companies, right? So if you hold IOST, one of the things that we're trying to provide is that you can go to this lending company and you can actually lend out your IOST. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it's one of the things on our basically timeline for delivering. We've helped out a little bit with Ledger and Trezor integrations. Those are coming in the same way that an actual official, kind of larger scale IOST wallet is coming. The IOST version will come first, and then Ledger and Trezor will come, within the next weeks to months, essentially. And then obviously the Black Venture Coalition joining the Sutler team has been huge. So those were some of the main integrations. Talking with about 5 or 6 different wallets there. These 2 have been killing it on that front. Additional exchanges as well. Some major exchanges, right? So obviously Binance is the biggest. IOST's locked that down. They're doing almost 50% of what you would call real volume. But some other major ones, as well as some others that will hopefully allow you to, assuming we can get the partnership done, will allow you to take hedge positions on IOST, right? If you want to use leverage, if you want to, long with leverage, or you want to short with leverage, some opportunities there. And then first event that we'll have, and as the final point to the contribution report, the first event will be in Boston on April 25th. It's hosted at the one of the Fidelity offices. Fidelity does not have anything to do with sponsorship or IOST or integration of any kind. Just as a disclaimer there, but they've they're willing to host us, and like we said, BBC will be there, IOST Bean will be there. So
yep, that was the BBC guys really did a lot of work on that event, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I mean, this is something that they do across the country, right?
Yep.
So
we saw them in Pittsburgh.
yeah, we saw them in Pittsburgh. They work with a lot of local universities to, whether it's IOST or another protocol or project that they're working with to really spread the word about that project, but also onboard, the best and the brightest from universities like CMU or Boston College or, a lot of these others across the country.
Awesome. That's great. So that was pretty much the contribution report that we sent in. Again, the results should be probably seen in about a week's time?
Yeah, I think when's the payout? Like tomorrow to the 17th or something like that. So I would imagine it'll be phased, right? But IOST will announce, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. From what I've been told, you're basically going to be in tier 1 if you've developed something for IOST.
The ecosystem. Yeah. That's cool. As far as, and I kind of want to hear from you guys if you have any thoughts on this, but I want to hear from you guys as well, sitting with me. I think that most of the people in the community want to see a wallet as far as integration goes. Like the number one thing that the community wants is probably not to have to use BIS for their voting in their wallet, because most people use BIS and not Token Pocket, or at least a good solid chunk.
Sure.
And people have an issue with using that third party. So as far as what you guys think the community wants, what do you think that is as far as integration next? Is it Trezor? Is it Ledger? Is it some other type of third party service?
Yeah, I think it's a natural progression. Once you have mainnet launch, is to have your own wallet. That's like the first essential thing. So Ledger, would be great, and the others as well. So
yeah,
that's all in the works. So that's coming. That's going to be here soon.
Drop some.
Soon. I can't.
For those out there watching now or listening after the fact, Dimitri's been known to drop. He's not supposed to drop
until I'm going to finish this whiskey.
Yeah. And we had to go back and delete episodes.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, I mean it's something that IOST is working on, right? The list of integrations and things coming are insane. The number of dApps that I've been told that are in progress are triple digits, meaning that there are triple digits worth of apps, in the pipeline, or excuse me, dApps in the pipeline. But of all of that, the most important thing is this wallet, right? Where Trezor's important, Ledger's important, but on a global scale, it can be difficult or not financially feasible to go out and spend the kind of money on a Ledger or Trezor wallet. So if we're looking for global adoption, first thing has to be that wallet. I'm definitely excited to see it.
And you think more of a desktop wallet and not a physical wallet because of the price restrictions, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it'll definitely be a software wallet from IOST.
Got it.
If they launched a hardware wallet, that'd be pretty badass. It'll be a software wallet. I would guess maybe not to start, but at some point we'll get both mobile and desktop functionality from them. It depends, right? Like mobile brings a lot of complications. Token Pocket already does such a good idea. Maybe they just start with desktop and then they focus on mobile later or something.
I know we saw, before we go to break here, because we do have to mess with the camera a little bit and take our break. We did see EOS Links posted today on their tweet. It was like a poll. What did they ask?
I can't. Something about should we expand
multi-chain?
past?
They asked, multi-chain. Yeah. So if we could, if IOST can, get already, existing companies that have integrations with EOS or with Ethereum, something like a MetaMask for IOST, or have the EOS Links team, do the IOST chain, that would be huge.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have the Chrome extension wallet already, but past that, I mean, Token Pocket's a big one. And I think, in regards to EOS links, these companies are seeing that there's a ton of value in not being, so focused on one chain, right? Having that, I think it's chain agnostic is the having that setup just exposes you to more users, right? It's good for your business. So that's good to hear from Links.
Cool. Well, we'll take a break and we'll come back and finish the remainder of the episode.
Cool. I'll do it.
We're still live, folks. Thank you for all the comments.
Refill the whiskey a little bit.
You want to?
Yeah.
Cool. Dima, it should be, if you go up to it, is it red? Is it on?
It's still blinking there.
Okay, so you're just going to press that button at the top to stop it?
Yep.
Is it now stopped?
Yep, stop.
Okay, then it should say 29.59 in the top corner. Is that what it says?
It's 1930.
What?
Top left corner?
Where it should have.
It's at 1930.
Uh-oh.
Top left.
I'll keep the lives.
All right.
Why?
You keep the live
What's wrong
version.
with that?
It should say 29.59, so that's like the amount of time we have till it starts.
No, you're good. All righty. So this.
Oh, you mean until the battery? Or
No, it's like for
Yeah.
1930. That's super weird.
So I guess this comes from what is called Dublin 12, which is where McGregor grew up.
Super weird.
Master Distiller and I set out with one goal in mind: to craft a proper Irish whiskey that is true to Ireland. We are honored to share this with you and proud to donate to first responders for every bottle sold. That's cool. I didn't know they were doing that.
why? Is that memory?
Enjoy the smooth and balanced whiskey, a fine blend of
Or is
golden
that battery?
grain and full-flavored malted barley. Triple distilled and aged a minimum of 3 years in bourbon barrels. Proper number 12 offers hint of vanilla, honey, like sweetness and toasted wood. Proper salute to all.
So you know a bedtime
So for those bedtime story. For those who don't know, barrels are incredibly hard to come by because of the boom in spirits and beer as of late. So essentially, what would happen with Scotch and whiskey primarily is that you would have to age them in a barrel. To some degree, the longer you age it, the better it is. Assuming it's obviously kept and monitored and maintained. But as barrels became harder to come by because more people wanted them for their beer, whiskey, or wine, or whatnot, because there was a shortage, now a lot of companies, new and old, started decreasing the amount of time that the whiskey or Scotch or bourbon was in the barrels. So it's called proper 12. That doesn't mean it's been in the barrel for 12 years. It certainly doesn't taste like that.
It's only a couple of minutes.
But 3 years is an average. Somewhere between 3 and 4 years is usually what you're seeing in a lot of kind of the standard shelf 1 or shelf 2 whiskeys. Where one example, I like Japanese whiskey a lot, right?
Yeah.
So as one example, there's a whiskey out of Japan. What's it called? Yamazaki, right? And there's a Yamazaki 12 year. They had to discontinue because they just couldn't warrant, from a business standpoint, having the Scotch, in there, the single malt whiskey in there for 12 years. So they came out with a new brand called Hibiki. It's actually, it's only 4 years aged, which essentially means you can run those barrels 3 times, 3 times as much whiskey.
You got comments going.
I got comments?
Where's the Conor McGregor whiskey? Show the bottle.
Oh, show the bottle? Do you want me to prove it? It's right here. Good Lord, no trust anymore. I thought this was trustless.
She said, "F crypto, let's start making
barrels." It's not a bad business. It's not a bad business, Roddy. I mean, if you want to, practice for 20 years and then figure out how to make the barrels, and then some of these companies might buy them for
Damn,
you. But
that return on time investment is not good. 20 years, seeing 20.
It's want to work with your hands.
We got to
too.
speed through this in 19 minutes.
It's 19 minutes.
Why is it 19 minutes?
Uh,
You didn't charge the battery, did you?
No, I did. It was green when I removed it.
That's weird. All right, we'll speed through it.
All right.
We got the contribution report.
You got it?
by the way.
Did you send it?
Yeah.
Oh, hurry.
So I hope you guys enjoyed your update on all things whiskey. A little full history lesson there for you.
All right, so if you want to pull up the Oasis stuff, I'm going to go straight into it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Boom. All right, we ready?
Yep.
It's red. All right, we are back with the second part of this episode?
Second
part,
half.
Yeah, part 2, second half of this episode, and we want to talk about the secret weapon that is no longer a secret weapon. It is OASIS. There was an announcement made on the IOST blog. There's not much information about the secret weapon. It was basically just a blog announcement saying what it might be, but there's not, there's no physical product. There's no website. We don't know much about the team, so it's still shrouded in mystery. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a secret weapon that came out and is still a secret. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I'm excited to hear more details on what's inside that secret weapon.
It allows us to speculate.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Right?
True.
Everybody loves speculation.
Yeah.
So if you look at the article, there's kind of this mysterious logo. If you reverse Google search the image, nothing really comes up either. So trust me, I dug for a long time trying to figure this out. But there are 5 main points, right? Kind of 5 main characteristics of what IOST is calling this integration. They are saying it's from an OASIS team. I don't know if that is entirely a different team or if it's some people from IOST in the same way that Ray is with Berm or with Endless, but is also obviously an IOST co-founder. So we might have a setup there that would make sense. But those 5 points, we'll kind of go through them one by one. The first one is exemption of account registration and keeping of private keys. So this, as it says, would basically allow you to create an account without having to register that account and without having to keep the private keys. So this is probably the one I'm most excited about, because I hate writing down private keys and storing private keys, but also the one that I'm most nervous about because it kind of when you think of private keys, right, and the ability to essentially own your funds, right, take control of your finances, that's a core philosophical tenet of crypto.
Well, what is it? Not your keys, not your fund. What is it?
Not your keys, not your crypto, or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's the core, almost ideology of crypto.
Right. Yeah. So there's got to be a really interesting, unique setup there that
you don't give an option probably to hey, you want to have your own private key, or hey, we're just gonna have it this way for simple use.
We'll custody it for you.
Yeah.
Right. Which makes sense. I mean, if you right, if your mom or my mom is using it, right, they're not going to really give a shit about the private key. It is what it is, right? It's only going to be a hurdle for them.
Gotcha.
Whereas obviously, us or others deep into it want to keep them. So that's the first one. The second one is eliminating resource consumption. This is a huge topic. We're not going to go into it, but other chains, primarily EOS, have had a lot of issues with resource consumption, namely because RAM on EOS is or was freely traded on a secondary market. So you had speculators come in, who didn't really care about affecting the chain positively or negatively, who can shoot the price up, shoot the price down. So as a DApp, the problem becomes if you need access to RAM for storage, understanding that there's RAM on EOS and IRAM on IOST, which essentially do a similar thing. If it's very expensive to get that RAM and it costs $100,000 just as one single piece of resources that are needed to build on a chain, a small DApp is never going to do that.
They're not going to
right?
be able to.
Even a large one isn't going to do it either, because it's hard to kind of spend that kind of money just to go in and build it. So that's a big one. I'm actually writing an article on this as well. So that's one I'll touch on. The third one is fair, transparent, and non-temporal transactions. So this is a little more complicated. I had to do some research. Fair and transparent transactions, right? It's another core tenet of the blockchain, right? You can see everything that's going on unless it's obviously privacy focused. Fair transactions, non-temporal transactions. From what I've been able to tell, understanding that I'm not a developer, I'm not in the super in the weeds when it comes to super baseline technical stuff, is that there was an issue back in 2015 with what were called malleability attacks on Bitcoin, where basically you have your inputs and you have your outputs, right? And once the input is generated, it will it will create a corresponding output. But there was a period of time, and I think Lightning Networks helps fix this. There's a period of time where you could then alter the input, and it would thus affect the output, say before the block was confirmed or something like this, right? So, it's again, from a development standpoint, look, IOST, OASIS looking at this like, hey, where can problems exist? They thought it was an important point to throw in here. So that's number 3. Number 4, verifiable game fairness, right? Most dApps are gambling dApps today. It's one of the big points that they tout as a reason to use blockchain-based gambling or gaming, right?
What needs to happen there for adoption, though, is people say that, hey, it's on the blockchain, it's open source, you can tell, but unless you're a coder, you can't go into that code and really tell if this is verifiably fair. So there needs to be some type of a like verification by this OASIS or whatever they have planned for this verifiable game fairness.
Right. Or a third party that's able to kind of create a front end for it.
Something like that, where someone that doesn't know about blockchain can come in and say, oh, this game actually is,
I see the value here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So that's the 4th one. The 5th one is easy and smooth dApp transfer. I kind of categorize this as meaning one of 2 things. Number 1, does it mean that there's going to be some sort of plugin that ETH or EOS or Tron dApps can utilize to quickly be onboarded onto IOST, which is something that pretty much every protocol has promised, but none have really delivered on. That could be one, or it could be a way to transfer tokens or NFTs or something like this in between dApps. Maybe transfer IOST easily within dApps, something like that. So those are the 5 points. If you look at it from a broad context of where we are, specifically with usability and dApps in crypto today, this would be huge. This would, if IOST can execute on every one of these points, this in my mind would put IOST ahead of every other blockchain from a usability standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it just from looking at this, it's a lot like protocols before mainnet launch, where it looks great. We just want to see it, So if they hit on all these points that you just talked about, that's going to be phenomenal for IOST. We just need to see more from the OASIS team essentially.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. And the good thing is that we know that IOST is known for delivering.
Sure.
So when they say something they do deliver. Even if it's maybe a Tesla giveaway, but so
yeah. In a little context too, in talking with the IOST team, 6 months is long term for them, right? They also obviously hit things quicker than expected, right? Like mainnet launch. So this could be something that we see in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So hopefully before August, sometime this summer, before end of August, we see OASIS live. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great for the IOST community for sure. So the next thing I want to get to is the Binance relationship and how it's been growing over the past, even just week. We've seen a lot of announcements that have come out. Jimmy's Telegram is, I believe, today. If it's live, it's tomorrow at 3 p.m. UTC. If you're watching this, tomorrow at noon, I think it might already be over. But Jimmy is doing that Telegram AMA with Binance. And I don't know if you've got the Binance charity pulled up there. What's that about?
Yeah, Binance Charity Foundation. So basically, IOST is going to participate. Jimmy is committing 10,000 BNB, which current price is 180K.
Yeah.
For schools in Uganda, and basically is supposed to assist them with lunch. Like lunch money. And what they do is they've selected certain suppliers there in Uganda to get crypto essentially in wallets, and they use that crypto to buy supplies for lunch. So it's interesting because it's actually it is actually a crypto use case where they are using crypto to get these things rolling, not like we're sending fiat to them straight up. So.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So it's not just a marketing push. There's actually they're
Some
actually
crypto use case.
utilizing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's-
and it says each beneficiary is provided with the mobile crypto wallet, Trust Wallet.
Trust Wallet,
Yeah,
Binance is Trust
Binance.
Wallet.
Yeah,
I think we all can agree that Binance is probably the best company in crypto right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah.
They've outpaced Coinbase. Certainly outpaced the other exchanges. I mean,
CZ is the man.
Yeah.
he's a superstar.
No
right
doubt.
now.
He's great. Their relationship with Tron is a little. I think that
Looks like-
I think it didn't need to happen. I don't think he.
Let's not go
I
there.
mean, yeah. Let's not go too far into that, but I think that kind of drags Binance down more than it, I guess should. So
Yeah.
I don't know the relationship between CZ and Justin Sun, but and I know some Tron dApps or projects are being launched on that launch pad. But
Tron is actually as part of this charity as well.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
And at the end of the day, all these guys know each other.
Sure.
Jimmy knows Justin. Justin knows knows CZ. I mean, they know everybody, and it's great. Like if you had to choose one company that you want IOST to be building a relationship with, it's Binance.
Mhm.
Right.
One of the things that I always speculate on is what will be the first iOST project that we see on Binance Launchpad or another IEO, because I think that's coming.
Yeah.
I think it definitely is.
You got some conspiracy theories. We got a couple. We got a couple comments here. It says, "Win dApps like World of Warcraft." It also says you with info on partnership with NASA, or is it an urban legend? Just delete Trust Wallet because can import wallet. Huobi Wallet is better. So I love the comments coming through. We'll talk about a little bit of them, but Win dApps like World of Warcraft, that's going to be a long time, and it's really just going to be the transaction level stuff. We're not like there's not going to be a dApp that has all this big money to spend on development of the actual game. It's going to be much easier to go to someone like Blizzard and say, why don't you run your transaction level stuff on the blockchain?
Yeah, it's a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
You got to walk before you can run, and can you even play World of Warcraft mobily? I don't think.
No way.
And you could barely play like PUBG and some of these others. So,
Yeah.
There's a lot of time to go there, unfortunately.
Okay, how much time we got left, team?
We got a few minutes.
Got a few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get to our last point here. It is the iUSD launching. I don't know much about this actual situation that's going on with Rate 3 and the iUSD that they launched. So if you guys could, take over the combo, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the big things to understand with Rate 3 is the way that these cross-chain swaps are working, right? So 2018, everybody says, was the year of the stablecoin, right?
Mm.
You had USDC come out backed by Coinbase. You had GUSD, which is Gemini's. Obviously, you've had Tether here for a while. Paxos is another big one. Those are essentially the big three. So those primarily are built on top of ETH. So what Rate 3 allows is it allows for folks who have assets on other blockchains like ETH to very easily transfer them over to the iOST blockchain, right? So they do that through these swaps. So an important quote here that I think sums it up really well is the iUSD stablecoin will give secure, reliable, fundamental value to all iOST usage and digital assets within the ecosystem, right? dApps, things like this. It will play a key role in stabilizing the ecosystem value while being a growth catalyst for new users and capital to flow into iOST from other networks. So yes, it gives you the ability to exit out of iOST into a more stable option, right? Into iUSD. And it also allows folks, like I said, with assets on blockchains like ETH to port them over to iUSD to then port them into iOST or port them into Metnix or port them into whatever.
I never thought about that. I always thought about it within the ecosystem, but it definitely makes it almost makes it like you're stepping into the kiddie pool first, or you're going 1 foot into the shallow end as opposed to putting yourself in the deep end as far as, transferring assets between blockchains.
Yeah. Or, instead of having to sell your ETH or BTC on Binance and then expose yourself to price change and buy BTC with iUST, withdraw that, deposit it into a dApp and use it there, right? It should allow for a real seamless nature.
When iOST Coinbase.
Yeah.
They were on one of the original lists.
Sure.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. That's really cool. So did you have any thoughts about iUSD before we wrapped up the episode?
The only thing is that, using the stablecoin within dApps, is something we discussed before. And that's something I'm really excited about because see, the thing is, not everybody wants to hold a token that fluctuates in volatility and speculative. Some people just want to, have it stable at X amount of price, and they know that it's going to be the same price to use a certain features within the app or whatnot. So it's I think that's another gateway where it can succeed.
Yeah, if you want to eliminate ads or something like that on a dApp, and it's $3 one day and $30 the next day, it becomes difficult to warrant. So
absolutely, man. So that's a lot of good stuff. I'm going to throw one lightning question at you. Good as Gold said, do you believe that crypto chains will eventually be interoperable, like Tron and IOST acting like one ecosystem? This got to be quick.
I do, but not in the short term.
Yeah.
What's timeline?
Where we see it on a large scale, 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
I think Cosmos and a lot of these others are way too early because I think the only value you get from the interoperability is if you have usage on each chain that wants to interact with other chains. And usage has been a giant problem across all the chains. So there's not really a need for it yet. Maybe we raise money now, maybe we start development now, but I think 3 to 5 years before it's any sort of large scale topic.
Yeah, I don't think it's definitely not going to be the focus right now.
Yeah, everyone's still trying to build out their own.
Right.
Essentially. Cool. Well, that was our episode for today. I believe it's episode number 4. So, guys, please like, subscribe, comment to the videos. We love you guys on YouTube Live. I'll get a cheers in here.
Cheers.
Empty. We're fine. Well, we love you guys, commenting on our videos, watching the videos, coming into our IOST Telegram. As Mike said, that's at Sutler Ventures. Come in there. You can directly, contact any of us. Talk about IOST with us, talk about the general crypto landscape. Otherwise, that was a great episode.
Yeah, I loved it. You can talk whiskey, talk beer. You want some more history lessons or something? Maybe the history of vodka from Dima.
Yeah, exactly. On the next episode.
Yeah. That's on the next episode, folks. See you then.
All right. See you.
All right.
All right,
Livers, we appreciate you.
Yeah. Oh, Roddy Piper, thanks for subscribing, big dog.
Boom. Hit that subscribe.
Let's see.
We'll see you next time.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. We take all the criticism, constructive criticism. Don't hate on us, but we always want to get better. So please let us know. And we'll see you guys soon.
Damn, 1 minute and 53 seconds left.